lot of friends that joked around and used the motto that you can sleep when you're dead, but what they do not know is that losing sleep throughout your life could actually make your death occur a lot sooner. So what people don't realize is that sleep is a huge problem, and especially in my current generation, it's gotten even worse. And according to a new CDC report, 1/3 of all Americans are getting less than 7 hours of sleep per night, which is below the minimum for what's considered healthy sleep duration. And looking at this chart, you can see that the recommended amount of sleep for most people is around 8 hours, and under 7 hours for everybody is pretty low. There are a set of reasons why we aren't getting enough sleep, and a big reason is that it's not taught in our schools as much as it should be, and also just we neglect the importance of sleep, and with too many early classes, and then we also stay up too late doing homework and things like that. And then another cause is that using our electronics and cell phones before we go to bed, it actually tricks your body into thinking it is daytime, which results in it being harder for you to fall asleep, and overall a poorer quality of sleep. And then you can see here in the United States, we are actually getting less than the amount, and we're about halfway on the chart. So losing sleep can cause you to struggle in school and cause lower grades. Quoted from James B. Mass, looking at kids in kindergarten through 3rd and 4th grade shows that 85% are not meeting their nightly sleep requirements. This results in also less attention span during class, which will give you poor performance on tests and overall lower grades in general. And then classes across America start very early, and this can force students and children who are requiring up to 9 to 10 hours of sleep. They'll have to get up at 5:45 a.m. just to catch the bus in the morning, which makes it very hard for those students to get their 9 hours of sleep. And then if you're out in a colder area, getting up this early and having to stand in the cold can lead to a lot more illnesses occurring. And then a lack of sleep results in less motivation for any task that requires energy, which can impair driving abilities, which can result in fatal traffic accidents. And then according to the National Sleep Foundation's Sleep in America poll, 60% of adult drivers, which is about 168 million people, say they have driven a vehicle while failing to drive in the past year, and more than 1/3, which is 103 million people, have actually fallen asleep at the wheel. And then another study by the AAA Foundation indicated that drowsy drivers are responsible for 1 in 6, or 17% of fatal car accidents. And then going for 24 hours without sleep is equal to having a blood alcohol content of 0.10, which is 0.02 above the legal driving limit. A lack of sleep results in a shorter lifespan. Looking at this chart, we can see that a lack of sleep increases the chances of injuries occurring, and Harvard Medical School experts revealed that people who get less than 5 hours of sleep are 15% more likely to die at any age from anything. And then another research showed that less than 5 hours of sleep doubled the risk of cardiovascular disease, and it just affects your immune system, and you can develop a lot more illnesses this way. So although sleep deprivation is a huge problem, it can be fixed. It also leads to weight gain as well. But methods to help reduce this problem would be to finish your homework early in the day, and this this would help you to go do other things later that night, opposed to if you're out doing something and then you get home late and this forces you to stay up late finishing all your work. And I talked to a lot of my fellow classmates, and I say about 9 out of 10 of those students told me that they have stayed up later than they preferred doing homework just in this week. And another way to fix this would be to advertise it more in social media and magazines, and then to teach it more in schools. James B. Mass also said children develop habits when they're young. If you develop careless sleep habits as kids, you will retain them as adults, so you have to learn early on to value sleep. So sleep is essential, it is not a luxury. It can also be fixed by starting classes later in the day. You quoted nearly 10% of U.S. high schools start before 7:30 a.m. and then bus pickup start around shortly after 5:30 a.m., which forces us to get up early. And then the day ends in the early afternoon, sometimes even before 2. These schedules are out of sync and with your sleep needs and patterns throughout high school, because your brains and bodies are still growing. So just fixing the school schedule could have a big impact on improving the problem. And then the last method would be to stay off your phones and electronics before you go to bed, because this will assist you in becoming ready to fall asleep and will give you a better quality of sleep throughout the night. And another experiment showed that students who received 7 hours of sleep compared to students who received less, the students that received more received nearly 10% higher grades compared to those who got less. So in conclusion, sleep has been a huge problem in America and throughout the world, and has recently become worse. But I hope this will open your eyes towards how important sleep actually is, and even just working with one of these methods, not all 3, can still make a big difference in fixing the problem.